What's going on, guys? I'm Joseph Tumbrello, and this is my story. This is my journey, the man behind the bench. So when I first started working out, I was 14 years old. It was the end of my wrestling season, 8th grade middle school. My father was a natural bodybuilder, so he wanted to take me to the gym and get me stronger for sports. And I fell in love with it, honestly. It was the greatest, most rewarding feeling, watching my body change, the weight come off me, my strength increase. I loved it. I instantly fell in love with it. And I instantly shifted towards one lift in particular, the bench press. It was my favorite lift. I loved it since day one. I love the pump from it. I love the satisfying feeling of getting off the bench after you hit a new PR that you've never hit before. It's a great feeling, and I just fell in love with it from day one at 14, and I stuck with it since, and here I am. So my first bench press actually was 95 pounds for 4 reps. I was thinking, I'm gonna get this up. I want at least a plate on that by the end of the month. I remember thinking that. And I was consistent. I went consistently with my father. I did chest and tries, shoulders and legs, back and bis. That was my routine. That was my routine for probably about 2 years. And in no time, my strength was increasing at a drastic rate. At first I cut weight because I was a little chubby, and after I lost that weight in the first 2 months, I began to bulk, and the strength just shot up. Before I knew it, I was at 185, and then not even a year in, I was about 15. I was at 225 already. So what I would do is I would make small goals for myself. I'd be like, all right, by March, I'm gonna hit this number. By June, I'm gonna hit this number. By the end of summer, the start of school year, I'm gonna hit this number. And I would hit all those small goals. It was never about competing with anyone else. It was about beating my old self. That was my goal, was beating my old self, being the strongest version of myself I could be. And I hit all those small goals. And my end goal just kept increasing because I hit these small goals so easily. And I'm like, damn, I could really take this far. My freshman year, I was 5'4", 130 pounds, and I was benching probably 135 for about 10 times. Fast forward to my senior year now, I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm 190 pounds. And I'm lean, I'm muscular, and I pause bench 385 pounds raw. So I couldn't wait for high school to end, honestly. I couldn't wait for sports to be over. I just wanted to commit my life to working out because that was my favorite thing to do. That was the only thing that mattered to me, especially the bench press. Getting my bench press up, I really fell in love with that at the time. And then at 20 years old, I hit 465 pause raw. I was 195 pounds. I was strong. I was living a pretty reckless lifestyle. I mean, most kids that age, they dabble, I was dabbling, to say the least. I was drinking, I was smoking, I was going out, I was having fun. But as long as I was hitting my fitness goals, I didn't care about any of that. As long as I was getting stronger, none of that mattered. So at my peak at 20 years old, my natural peak, I was hitting 465 pounds on the bench, raw pause, 405 on the incline. I was doing great. I was a young kid, I'm 20 years old. I just got out of high school. I had my job. Everything was set up for me. I had my nice car, a BMW. I was happy. I was going out with my friends. Pretty much on a weekly basis, me and my friends were going out. So I went out to a bar one day with my friends. I had a fake ID. I wasn't even 21 at the time. So we're in this club. My boy gets into a fight. We get thrown out of the bar. So now we're outside. The bouncers are trying to stay in between us, stay in between the kid who now came out with a bunch of his friends and was trying to fight us. So the bouncers end up making us get into a taxi van. I'm in the back of the taxi van, mind you. I am very drunk at this time. I was not making good decisions. I did other things as well. I was not in a sober mind state, to say the least, or a good mind state. So we're driving now, and I look at my friend who's in the front of the taxi van through the rear view, and I'm like, get ready, we're ditching this shit. Loud, clear as day, fucked up, unaware that this cab driver could clearly hear me. So we get to the stop. Obviously, since he heard me, he does not put his car on the brake. He just stops in the middle of the street, and he's like, money. So my friend who's next to him looks to his right, pretends to reach in his pocket, grabs the handle, he's out, starts running. My drunk ass, I'm in the back of this taxi van. I'm looking for the handle, I can't find it. He takes off, he starts driving. He's probably about going at least 30 miles per hour. I now open the door, and I'm drunk, I'm not thinking, and I jump out, right out of the van. I land on the back of my head in Mill Street, roll to the curb. My next memory is waking up with a bunch of paramedics around me, my friend around me. I'm bleeding everywhere, I'm throwing up, I feel like shit, but I'm still not sober, so I think I'm okay. And I'm arguing with the paramedics, I'm arguing with the police, say I'm okay, I just need to go home and sleep it off, everything will be fine. And they're like, dude, you're bleeding out your ears. If you go home and you go to sleep, you're not waking up. I then end up blacking out. My next memory, I wake up in the hospital, I have IV on, I have a neck brace on, I rip it off, I rip out my IV, I'm in the hallways, I get extremely nauseous, I go to a bathroom, I start throwing up, I look at myself in the mirror, I watch myself blink, and I watch only one eye close, only my right eye closed. And I'm trying to close my left eye, and I can't. I'm trying to move left side of my face, and I can't. I had nerve damage. Later on, I come to find out that I actually fractured my skull in 3 places right here. Broke my skull in 3 different places in the back. So I lost a lot of muscle being in the hospital. I'm natural at the time, mind you, and I still lost 15 pounds of muscle. I got out of the hospital after 5 days. My strength was down, my size was down. I wasn't allowed to do any physical activity. I couldn't even move left side of my face. I'm wearing an eye patch to sleep. I'm drinking water and eating food and shifting it to the right side of my mouth because my left side doesn't work. I'm beyond depressed, to say the least. I made a promise to God. I said, God, give me everything back and I will live a clean lifestyle. I will not do anything stupid anymore. And I will be a better person. Just please give me everything back. And I'm not a religious person. I don't pray. This was shadow prayers. I was desperate. So 6 weeks in, I went to 1 physical therapy appointment. I never went back. And 6 weeks in, I am fully recovered. My facial paralysis is nearly gone. My strength is nearly back. Everything is great, and I'm off the races. So as I got closer to my 21st birthday, I thought of competing. I wanted to compete. I was looking up the drug tested records, and I was like, damn, I could beat these, especially the state ones and stuff. I was talking to one of my friends about it, one of my older friends who was on steroids. He's a big guy, and he's like, dude, you could do serious numbers. Imagine you took something. He's like, Joe, he told me, he's like, name one famous natural powerlifter or bodybuilder that you know. And I started thinking, and I couldn't think of one person. And I was like, damn, he's right. So I ended up making the decision to start performance enhancing drugs. 2 days after my 21st birthday, I took my first shot of testosterone. And it was off to the races. It was off to the races. Within 4 weeks, I was hitting 500 pounds raw. My strength was shooting up, and then I got injured. So I ended up getting a pec strain, a pretty serious pec strain. I'm out for a while. I can't bench. I go and get MRI and find I actually have a slap tear in my right labrum. So now I have to take 6 weeks off, and I'm very upset. You know, I just hit 500, paused raw, only 4 weeks into my first cycle. So I cut weight. I do the only thing I could do. I do cardio and cut weight. I got really lean. I went from 235, I believe, down to 205. And I was completely shredded. I looked the best I ever looked. I was very happy at the moment. Considering I wasn't even stronger and my bench was down, I still looked bigger than when I was natural. So I was content with this look for quite some time. But I missed the heavy weight. I missed hitting PRs. I missed the adrenaline rush of hitting PRs. I missed the satisfaction of hitting PRs and just upgrading myself and just feeling better and stronger and knowing I did something that I once couldn't do. I missed that. I missed that so much. So I began lifting heavy again. Starting my journey, I wanted 600 pounds on the bench. So at the time, the only things I've taken were test and D-ball. I only did them for 4 weeks before I got injured, and I came off the D-ball. I did tests for maybe 2 or 3 more weeks, and then even came off that. So I decided I was going to take a real cycle, and I did my research, and Tren seemed to be the strongest stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try Tren. And so we started Tren. And let me tell you, as much as the strength shot up, as quick as the results were, the side effects were not worth it. Were definitely not worth it. Within 2 months, I was hitting 550. I was the strongest I've ever been. And I was 230 and I was lean. I was holding the 230 very well. And I was eating whatever I wanted. Everything was great. I was happy, to say the least. But the consequences of being on Tren, I was anxious all the time. I was paranoid. I was thinking everyone was was an enemy and everyone pissed me off. Like, and this wasn't like, oh, I realized I'm thinking this way. This was my new normal. Like, this was the person I was before. That guy was a pussy. Like, screw what that guy thinks. My new self, I will tolerate no disrespect from anyone. I thought who the fuck I was. It made me an arrogant, worse person, to say the least. So I got to the point where I was really just unable to deal with society and being able to function in society. So that's when I began to take Xanax. For those of you that don't know, Xanax is anti-anxiety medication. And I know this, when I would take Xanax and smoke, I would be calm and I would be nice. So I was like, all right, this levels it out. All I need to do is take Xanax and smoke and I could be on trend. Fast forward 2 or 3 years later, I'm hitting all these crazy PRs. I'm now well into the 600s. I'm the strongest I've ever been. I look great, I feel great. I'm literally taking trend at the time, mind you, 8-month periods, only taking 3 to 4 months off, then going back on. I'm taking a high dose, I'm taking like 500 milligrams. I'm also taking Anadrol. I'm also smoking, taking Xanax, and drinking, living an extremely reckless lifestyle. But I'm like, oh, I'm getting stronger in the gym. I'm going to work, I'm making money. I'm not a drug addict, I'm normal. I'm getting stronger in the gym, I'm making money, I'm fine. So I didn't even realize I had a problem, honestly. I'm thinking everything's great. I'm the strongest I've ever been. I'm making money, everything's good. And then reality hit me and I developed ulcerative colitis. If you don't know what ulcerative colitis is, it's an autoimmune disease. And let me tell you, it is the worst thing I've ever been through in my life. The skull fractures, the car accidents I've been in the past was nothing compared to having ulcerative colitis. So I originally was put on a medicine that was helping for a bit, and it took care of the problem. I was like, oh, I could go back to what I was doing. I instantly started another cycle. I'm razor close to 700 pounds at the time. I'm at a 680 bench. All I care about is saying 700 pounds. So I start another cycle immediately. My strength is going up, and then bam, I instantly am hospitalized again. It's acting up. I'm literally releasing blood. Like when I go to the bathroom, when I poop, number 2, straight blood is coming out of me. No stool whatsoever. I'm very sick. I'm dropping weight, literally 10 pounds, no exaggeration, a week. Anything I ate would just come in and just leave through me. And I really, at one point, thought like I wasn't gonna make it, honestly. So I watched myself deplete. I was in hospital for 3 weeks, lost 36 pounds. I watched myself deplete to near nothing, and I literally thought I was not going to make it. And mind you, my fiance at this time is pregnant with my daughter in the hospital, and here I am, dying, unable to do anything. I could barely walk. I had literally zero energy. I was down to 210 pounds. It was horrible, to say the least. I actually had to sign out against medical advice just to go and see the birth of my daughter. And here I was, and I prayed again for the first time since my skull fracture. I said, please, God, just make me better. I promise this time I'm old enough, I'm mature. I just want to be there for my family. I want to do right. I will not take anything again. I will not live a reckless lifestyle. I will not make these stupid choices. I will not abuse my body. Please let me be there just for my daughter, please. And I honestly thought I was never going to be this person I was again. I thought, all right, my goal to 700 pounds, this is over, everything's over. I was pretty upset, to say the least. The only thing that was keeping my spirits up was the fact I just gave birth, the fact my wife just gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. So I get back in the gym, my strength plummeted. I barely got 5 plates wrapped up my first workout back, and that was beside myself because I knew I lost a lot, but I thought I was at least gonna get like 3 or 4. And when I barely got 1, I was really just down in the dumps. And mind you, at this time, I'm taking extremely low dose of test. I'm literally on 250 mgs of testosterone, which is the lowest by far I've ever taken in my life at the time. I was literally doing 1,000 milligrams and 500 milligrams of trend. So I'm thinking like, I'm never gonna get this strength back. It doesn't matter, but I love working out. It's the only thing I got left to do, so fuck, I'm gonna do it anyways. And the craziest thing, I'm watching my strength shoot up. Like I was on a cycle or something, just from coming back from this crazy illness and ailment where I literally thought I was going to die. And I I shit you not, 6 weeks after being out of the hospital, I hit 685 on the bench on just 250 milligrams of test. And I was dumbfounded and beyond grateful, beyond grateful. So now the goal of 700 seemed much more realistic again. You know, I'm hitting 685. Yeah, it's a grinder, but I'm just on 250 test. So I up my test, I up my calories, I really start pushing it, and sure enough, in a couple months' time, 700 finally goes up. And I promised myself, all right, 700's the goal, like that's it after. I lied. I just knew, like, hitting 700 at the time, a young age, 28, just on being on a moderate dose of test, I knew, like, I had so much more. And I instantly had regrets of, wow, if I would have just been sober and did things right, I didn't need all that trend, I didn't need Anadrol, I could have been stronger just being on test and just living a sober, clean lifestyle, and they ate me up. So since then, my goals have shifted massively. They really have. I'm in a whole new mindset. I have confidence in myself that I never had before. I don't need trend. I don't need Anadrol. I don't need those drugs. I know now I could do it with just a little test, just hard work, and just living a sober, clean lifestyle. I don't have to risk my life and risk potentially developing some more serious issues down the line, way more serious ulcerative colitis that could lead to a fatality and lead to my wife being a widow and my daughter having no father. So now I don't take things for granted anymore. I used to take them for granted. I used to do stupid shit. I used to think, oh, I'm untouchable. I used to literally think I was invincible. I thought, oh, I survived jumping out of a freaking cab, cracking my skull in 3 places. I was fine again 6 weeks. They told me I was never gonna be good again. That couldn't stop me. I literally, at one point, thought I was invincible. And it took getting a freaking autoimmune disease that nearly killed me and kept me hospitalized, having to sign out against medical advice to go see the birth of my own child to give me a real wake-up call, a real kick in the ass. I was so deluded back then. All I cared about was working out. My mindset was so fucked up, I didn't care if I lived past 50 years old. I'm not even joking. In my eyes, it was pointless to live past 50 because I'm out of my physical prime. I'm not hitting PRs anymore. I don't want to be alive. I have nothing to live for. That's how deluded I was. That's how out of it trend and the lifestyle choices I was making had me. And then now, being a father of a beautiful baby girl and the husband of a beautiful wife, I am so grateful that God has given me this chance to now really make something of myself and really be an example for people that have made the stupid decisions. It's not too late to turn your life around. It's not too late to change your mindset. I still have the same goals, just a different mindset, just doing things smarter, not stupid, not taking things for granted, not living reckless. You have one life to live. Make the right choices. Don't mess it up. Don't end your life shortly. Get everything you deserve. Put all your work in. You have one life and one legacy to leave behind. You only get one chance at that. You have to make it count. Back then, I didn't care about money. I didn't care about anything. The only thing I cared about was getting as strong as possible. That's like all I gave a shit about. I didn't care about sponsorships. I didn't care about helping other people. I didn't care about anything else but myself. I was a self-centered, very narcissistic person. Being through what I have and having a daughter has humbled me and changed my mindset in so many ways, so many ways. Now everything I do is for my family. It's to set my daughter up for life. I am more motivated than ever now because of that. I want the fruits of my labor to be able to feed my daughter in the future, and I want to be able to help others not make the stupid mistakes I have. I'm gonna be transparent. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna lie to people. I'm not gonna tell bullshit like, oh, no, I never took anything serious. The professionals, the strongest guys, they never took it. No, all those guys, they're professionals. They're taking as much as you think they are. Trust me, they're probably taking more than you think they are. The only difference from them is you're gonna get lies. From me, you'll get the truth. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be brutally honest. I want people to learn from my mistakes. Now I have 3 goals left. Those 3 goals: hit 8 plates on the bench, hit over 700 pounds in competition, be the lightest man to do it, break the 275-pound world record, and set my family up for life. Those are my goals. I will stop at nothing to achieve those. Nothing and no one is going to stop me from achieving those goals. And that's the way you have to be. You have to truly believe in yourself. No one's gonna believe in yourself for you. No one's gonna give you that confidence but yourself. Believe in yourself, bet on yourself. I promise you. Nobody thought I was gonna make it here. Nobody. I promise you that. If you don't believe in yourself, no one will. No one will do it for you. Anything is possible if you strive for it. You hear my story, my first bench was 95 pounds for 4 reps at 14 years old. There's kids nowadays I see on Instagram doing 405 pounds at 14 years old. You can be anything you want to. It's all up here, it's all mental. It is all about your mindset. My life in the past, I do regret it a bit. I do, just because, like I said, I have no sense of smell to this day. I don't know if I did say that, but I have no sense of smell to this day from those 3 skull fractures. I'll never smell again, unfortunately. So yeah, I regret the past, but as much as I do regret it, I am grateful for it because it has changed me, has made me learn. I'm the type of person where it's gonna take something like that for me to really learn my lesson. So as much as I do regret the past, I still make the most of it. I'm still grateful for the experiences and how it's affected me in a positive manner. So my advice on taking performance enhancing drugs is to first get your blood levels checked. And if you have any issues in your family, like if your family has liver issues, kidney issues, I don't recommend you do. But if they don't, you're healthy, everything's good, I recommend you start slow. You start with something low, like testosterone. You don't jump to things your body doesn't naturally produce. You don't just jump to tren. You don't just jump to Anadrol. You don't even jump to SARMs. That shit is really bad for your body all around. Testosterone, your body naturally produces. So I recommend you start slower. I don't recommend, unless you have real good reasons to do it, that you take anything else. It is jeopardizing your health. So if there's one thing I want you guys to take from this video, you can be anything you put your mind to. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do something. If they do, let that fuel you, man. That's fuel to the fire for me. I live to prove motherfuckers wrong, bro. So keep that as fuel to your fire. You can do anything you set your mind to. It's never too late to change your life and to make a turnaround. Don't wait till tomorrow. I'm talking to you behind this camera. Start now. Whatever journey you're putting off, you're holding off, whatever dreams you have that you're waiting on, that you think are just gonna come and find you, they're not. Go take action. Start now. I'm Joseph Tumbrell, and this is The Man Behind the Bench.